All right, we are back here on the Hofstra Morning Wake Up Call, leading into our first live interview of the day. Today we're joined by WRHU's alumni, Danielle DeLilio. WRHU's Alumni Awards Dinner is going to take place tomorrow evening, and the Hofstra Morning Wake Up Call is lucky to welcome Danielle DeLilio on, a Hofstra alum who now works at iHeartMedia, about her experiences here at Radio Hofstra University, her career, and her future. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Hofstra Morning Wake Up Call, Danielle.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Doing very well.
Very good. Thank you.
So we are joined by a couple different, crew members today, but I'm going to start. My name's Cameron. We've spoken a bunch, but thank you so much for joining us. Can you start by telling us how you're feeling regarding tomorrow's awards night? How does it feel to be honored as a Hall of Fame inductee?
Oh, my goodness. But I am so overjoyed. I cannot explain how I feel. When I got the call from Lyanne Swosa, who is of the Hofstra Radio Alumni Association, she said, "So, I don't know if you know." I'm like, "Know what?" And she's like, "So, you were nominated to get inducted into the Hofstra Radio Hall of Fame this year." And I was like, "What? Me? Like, no." But it's really, it's amazing. I started at Hofstra in 1997 and immediately joined the radio station. I met Sean Novat, who is also being inducted with me tomorrow. He was very instrumental in me getting into the radio station. And Bruce Avery and Ed Ingalls, they were both my mentors while in college and throughout my life until they passed a few years ago. But lucky for me, I have had a really great ride from Hofstra to now, and it's really so great to be honored. I'm so thrilled, honestly, to be able to have my legacy live on at Hofstra. So this is a great joy.
All right, Miss DeLillo, this is Matt Fisher speaking. And
hi, Matt.
Hi.
I know who you are.
Great to be speaking with you. But I wanted to ask you, what was your time at WRHU like, and what kind of mark do you feel like you made on the station?
That's a great question, Matt. So when I was at Hofstra, it was a different time. There was no social media. We switched from analog to digital, and that was in like 1999. And it to see what the university and what radio has become the last 27 years since I started at Hofstra has been really eye-opening and mind-blowing, because back when I was in college, I really didn't see the radio industry becoming what it is today. I mean, I was cleared in like almost every format at WRHU, which I wound up picking up a lot of slots during the summers and winter break. And I just wanted to use my time there wisely. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be able to go out there and go out on election night and conduct interviews. I wanted to host Hofstra's Morning Wake Up Call. I wanted to play uncharted territory hits. So I just really dived full force into the program. I majored in radio. My minor was speech communication. And then a couple of years ago, I got my master's in journalism from Hofstra. So it's just come full circle for me, as now I'm a professor there. So I'm able to teach students about entertainment PR, public relations, and it's just a beautiful place. Hofstra holds such a special place in my heart, and just looking back on the memories and the friendships and everything. I mean, I sit here and I'm like, God, I feel like I'm so speechless, because I can't find the words to explain how much WRHU means to me. And you all are so lucky you get to be there and learn from John Mullen, Diwali. I know Mario Manillo is still there, and he's a vice dean. So you have Andy Gladding, who I actually trained when I was a training director at WRHU. So there's a lot of really, really good people at Hofstra that you're so lucky you get to learn from. You know, it's a cycle. We all come back. We all we all want to help, and that's what I love about what I do. I'm able to mentor students and alumni, and just recently I had a couple of students of mine, and they graduated in May, and like, Professor D, can you help me with my resume? Can you do an interview with me, like a mock interview? And it's so great because now it's like I'm helping the future. I'm helping the future. When 27 years ago or 20-something years ago, I needed that, and people helped me. So it's really great to give back in that way.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Gabby. I wanted to thank you for coming on, and I know that a lot of my friends have been taught by you and they speak so highly of you. So it's so amazing that you've had not only do you feel so impacted, but you've also made so many other students feel special from what you've taught them here. But I want to know, if you think back to your college days, give me a little anecdote of maybe one of your most memorable experiences at WRHU. What's something that really stands out?
Wow. So many things. Mayor Bloomberg, he became mayor back in 2000, and I was at his office where it was like a big party for election night. And I was with Mike Corbett, and then it was mind-boggling that I was actually a student, and I was there conducting interviews for the future mayor of New York City. And just being a part of that, and election night is just a few weeks away, and I'm sitting here, as you guys were talking about, how to say it was like 18 days, whatever you said, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember preparing for that, and just really being focused on, like, what questions are we going to ask? Are we going to meet Mike Bloomberg? Are we going to talk to his people? Like, you know, what are we going to do? And we won a Long Island Press Award for that night, for election night coverage. So that sticks out in my mind very, very. It's such a beautiful moment to sit back and remember being at a location where there was no other students there. It was just me and two other students from Hofstra. You saw NBC, ABC, CBS, and there we were, you know, WRHU, this little college radio station. So it was an impactful night.
Hello, this is Jack. Thank you so much again for that recent.
Jack.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing?
Been good, thank you.
Good.
All right, so I also just want to ask you really quickly, because obviously us all being in WRHU and hoping that it has a big impact on what we do in our future, I was very curious, in what ways did WRHU essentially help you to prepare for your future at iHeart?
Wow, that's a good question. So a lot transpired in college. I was finding myself. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to be this famous actress or a broadcaster on TV or a broadcaster on the radio. And I've dabbled in all three. And radio is just a beautiful medium. And so we're able to give people theater of the mind. And I learned how to speak on air, how to conduct interviews and edit and produce packages, and something that I don't know if I was on the executive board. It was called the Community Relations Director, and I handled all of the community efforts for the radio station, whether it was on-campus community involvement or if it was off-campus community involvement. And the reason why I bring that up is because now I run promotions and marketing for the #1 station in the country. And I learned a lot about that aspect, marketing, promotions, community relations at Hofstra, at WRHU. I remember meeting and mixing and mingling with the president, President Stewart, President Rabinowitz, and I was just a student. And so being able to speak to people in higher positions, WRHU gave me that ability. I was able to everybody says that I'm the queen schmoozer. Well, I learned how to do that at Hofstra. It's like trying to give people what they want to hear, but also, you get something out of it too. So I learned a lot on how to market, how to speak with people, speak to people, cultivate relationships, network. And that's something that I really stress to my students is networking and your own brand awareness and brand management is so key. And that's what WRHU helped me with. And I'm forever grateful.
Well, Professor DeLillo, hi, this is Joshua. I just, thank you for that answer. That was a really great response there. But talking a little bit about kind of where you've ended up now, you're now with the iHeartMedia on their promotions team. What has that experience been like so far?
So I started at iHeart in 2016, and I've been there ever since. My role has changed, but it's always been promotions and marketing. When I first started, I was hired as an assistant promotions director for Z100 and the promotions director for Light FM. That was it. After a year or so, I was given the role of artist relations, so working with artists and talent and management teams and publicists to have artists come to the building, do interviews, perform, etc. And then after I got my master's in 2021, they handed me all of our PR and publicity. So I'm overseeing all of our promotions, publicity, PR, artist relations, and as I mentioned how I learned about that community relations stuff, I also oversee all of our public service for iHeartMedia New York. So the role has changed in the last 8 years, and it's been wonderful. I'm able to use my relationships that I've made throughout my college career to now, and I have Sean Novak brings students from the Nassau community to iHeart for tours. I host Hofstra and NYC every year at iHeart, and hopefully that's how I met Matt, by the way. But hopefully you guys can participate in that. And it's just wonderful. I love being there. I love my job. I love giving back, and this award is just one piece of what's to come.
Well, thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us today on the Hofstra Morning Wake Up Call. We are going to have to move into our next interview, but we really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about your time at WRHU and how that's really impacted where you are now.
Thank you so much, and really, I hope I get to meet you guys tomorrow. If you can come, fingers crossed. If not, I really do hope I see you soon, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Again, that was Danielle DeLillo, a Hofstra alum and now professor and iHeartMedia team member. And before we end off our Hour 1 show today, we have an interview with Grammy-nominated professor here at Hofstra, But first, I bet all of our drivers out there are feeling the traffic right now. So I hope you can get your Rush on, which is our next song by Troye Sivan right here on the Hofstra Morning Wake Up Call on 88.7 FM, Radio Hofstra University.